In today's video, I'm going to be going over the truth about struggle and how this can positively impact your life significantly. Yo, what is good, everybody? It's your boy Noah back again with another YouTube video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to today's video. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I help people awaken to their true abilities through wellness and spirituality, aka Noah's Ark. And in today's video, we are going to be going over the truth about struggle. You know, a lot of people don't really want to hear that. You know, I'm a very positive person, right? And I don't really like to talk about things that can be perceived as negative, you know, and struggle is one of those things. As humans, we crave comfortability, right? Comfortability is something that is a natural human response to living in this world, you know what I mean? Especially with, if you live in America, you know, there's comfortability everywhere, right? In terms of being able to stop by a fast food place down the street, right? Or being able to be on our phones and have access to all of this information through the internet. You know, it tends to make us comfortable, you know, and I'm here to make this video for you guys to talk about how struggle is actually so important in our day-to-day life. We need struggle in our life in order to accomplish our goals and our dreams. You know what I mean? There are going to be times where we don't feel like doing something, right? But we have to kind of bite the bullet and just do it anyways, right? Because that is part of the process, right? We have to endure, we have to encounter some type of struggle in our life. Right now, why is this so significant? Well, if you think about someone who was born into a very, very wealthy family, you know, it wasn't the case for me, but someone who was born into a very, very wealthy family, you know, they have everything handed to them, right? Meaning that they have access to a lot of different things just because of, you know, them being born based off of where their family was at, right? And they got handed the silver spoon, you know what I'm saying? And that is, you know, positive, but it can also be a detriment. And how that can be a detriment is when you're so used to comfortability your whole life, right? You're not willing to encounter struggle, right? It's harder for you to kind of work your way, you know, work for things that you actually want, you know what I mean? And struggle is such a necessary part of this human experience, you know, that we need it in our everyday life, you know, some form of it, right? Whether it's mental, physical, emotional, spiritual struggle, right? We need all of that. And that is why this video is going to be me explaining the truth about struggle. You know, the truth about it is that we need it in our life, in all facets, right? And struggle is what's going to help us grow. You know, it's going to mold us into the people that we want to be, right? If you think about a butterfly, it starts out as a caterpillar, right? And once it's in its cocoon, it's spending all of that time growing and all of that time struggling to escape the cocoon and become a butterfly, but it has to go through the process of struggle, right? You think of a plant, it's the same exact thing, right? Once they sprout through the ground, there's a certain process that takes place that's called struggle, you know, it's what helps create the growth for a beautiful plant and a beautiful flower, you know. And so we can adapt this mindset and this type of lifestyle into our own lifestyle by adopting struggle in our life, you know. And this isn't me telling you go out and look for, you know, struggle or hard things to do, right? If you want to do that, that's okay as well. You know, I'm not against that. But I want to make this video to kind of encourage you guys to step out of your comfort zone, you know, do something that's challenging, right? Go to the gym, start eating more healthy, right? It's not going to be comfortable at first, right? But once we start doing this over a process of time, it's going to help us grow, and we're eventually going to be able to get used to it, right? Ask someone out who you've thought about for a while or you've had a crush on. You know, that's also going to be something that's challenging if you aren't used to it. What you'll notice is some of the most successful people on this planet have come from the most disadvantageous positions in their life, right? Meaning that they came from positions where you wouldn't think that they would ever be able to make it out. Jimmy Butler is an example of someone who came from a very disadvantageous position. And Jimmy, if you're watching this, shout out to you, my man. But he is a professional NBA basketball player, right? But it wasn't always like that for him. You know, he grew up homeless, right? And part of his life where he didn't have a place to live, you know what I mean? And you might ask yourself, how does somebody go from being homeless to being in the NBA? Well, it's because they got used to struggle, you know what I mean? They put themselves in positions where they would have to work hard, you know, and they would have to grind, right? And obviously it's not gonna be like that for everybody, right? We're all living on a different path, right? But this is an example of somebody who completely turned their life around and made something good out of it. And, you know, if Jimmy Butler was raised in a wealthy family, you know, you never know if he would have been in that same position, right? He'll probably tell you he would, but you just never know, right? It's like, that is why if you find yourself in what you call a disadvantageous position, it could actually, you can always make it to your advantage, right? And how do you do that? By perceiving it as an opportunity for you to grow, right? When we're challenged in life, you know, it's all about how we perceive the challenges. You know what I mean? If we perceive them as a stepping stone for our success, right, then we're gonna eventually want to adapt challenges into our life, adopt challenges into our life, rather, right? And so this is what's gonna help us grow into becoming, ultimately evolving as humans and as a collective and as a species, right? And so I encourage you to challenge yourself, you know, go out to the gym, right? If you haven't, right? If that's something that you're interested in, go, even if it's something light, like take a walk, you know what I mean? All of these things that kind of, you know, I think the baseline here is just doing different things, right? Because a lot of the times differences can be perceived as challenges to a lot of people. And so, yeah, I encourage you guys to challenge yourself today and do something that you might find a little bit challenging. It's really gonna help benefit you in the long run. You know, it's really gonna help benefit your growth and your evolution process. The times that I was the most comfortable in my life, I was also the most sad. And this is because we're used to a very comfortable lifestyle and we're not really wanting to grow, right? We're not wanting to adopt challenges in our life. Then this is when we can start to, you'll find yourself at kind of a standstill, like how I was at. There would be summers during the, during my school years where I would just be at home and I would play video games for like 8 hours a day. You know, literally like 8 to 12 hours a day, just sitting in front of a screen, you know, and eventually, you know, it's obviously it's fun, right? But eventually you get to a point where it's like you have to actually do something, right? And I had to challenge myself, right? I had to find something to do. And sometimes it takes you asking yourself, man, what is it? What's something that I can actually do with my life to help me grow and to better myself? You know what I mean? And like I said, helicopter flying by. But like I said, you know, it doesn't have to be, it's gonna be different for everybody because we're all on a different path. And so I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope you learned something. I hope you gained some type of value from today's video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys for stopping by. I really do appreciate all the love and support that I've been getting throughout these videos. My YouTube channel has been shooting up like crazy and it's insane the amount of support that I've been getting. If you guys have any recommendations for future videos that you want me to talk about, feel free to let me know down in the comment section. I'll be happy to take your comment or question, you know, and turn it into a video if you like. Yeah, with that being said, my friends, have a wonderful afternoon, morning, or night wherever you're at. And peace, love, and happiness. Mwah.